Shadows crawling in the bright daylight, voices twisted, feeding us the blight, telling stories that were never true. We fight to break on through. Lies are woven like a velvet chain, slick with power driving us insane. But the fire burns deep within our chests. We fight, we'll never rest. We rise with fists clenched high, tearing through the veil, the sky. Truth's a blade that cuts the dark. We fight, we'll never rest. We rise with fists clenched high, tearing through the veil, the sky. Truth's a blade that cuts the dark. We fight, we make a mark. They call us rebels, say we've lost our way, but freedom's blood, it fuels the fray. From the ashes comes a brighter light. We fight with all our might. See resolve in the roaring storm, breaking cages will rewrite the norm. No more silence, no more disguise. We fight with open eyes. We rise with fists clenched high, tearing through the veil, the sky. Truth's a blade that cuts the dark. We fight, we'll never rest. We rise with fists clenched high, tearing through the veil, the sky. Truth's a blade that cuts the dark. We fight, we make a mark. We fight, we make a mark.
Let's see how real people work. These are real people. You're not real people. Your job is too easy. Who do you work for?
Nurse.
Who?
Nurse.
I don't even know what the hell that is. Who are you with?
CNN.
Well,
There's a split
fake
though.
news. Fortunately, nobody watches. Do you ever ask a positive question at CNN? We're talking about a lot of other things. It's NBC trying to get off the subject of what you just saw. You are a real, you're a terrible reporter. Number one, you don't have what it takes to be a reporter. You're not smart enough. I don't know even what you're talking about. Neither do you. Who are you with? Who? Oh, no wonder. I thought they died. Are they still around? I haven't read them in years. I thought they died.
Oh man, he's a gift that just keeps on giving. Oh, what is going on, friends? Hope you're doing well tonight. Good to see you all. Welcome to the Ace Report, as I'm starting to call it, the pre-banned report after my last video got shadow banned, demonetized. They just love to do that to me. It's just a regular occurrence now. So tonight, they're probably not going to like what I'm sharing anyway, again, either, because we're exposing the craziest thing today. It came out, exposing that maybe our entire population is just fake. That's my hat's all crooked. I get for wearing an old hat. Yeah, maybe our entire population's fake. This is how nuts things are getting. So we're going to cover that. We got lots to talk about tonight because we are winning. The wins are just piling in, but we also got a lot of challenges still on the board to deal with, and we're going to talk about some of those tonight too. It is what a time to be alive. I just got to say, what a time to be alive. So before we get started, please hit that like, hit that subscribe if you're new. I appreciate it. If you like what you see, if you want to get more, Members Live was last night. If you want to go back and watch it, we had a lot of fun last night. You can go in the link down below in the description, get a free month membership and get in the Discord with us too. But please, if nothing else, like, share, subscribe. If you're on X, repost. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for your attention, paying attention to this matter. Alrighty, let's say hey to some peeps up in Hizzy. Who we got up in here? We got Country Computers, numero uno tonight. AJ Trader, Big Swede, Born Free, what's up? Big B, Brian T, Vin Man, Stephen Cromer, Joe Scarpaggia, Randy Atwell, Zach, what's up? Jason Yancey, Kim Wiley, Just Mike, JVG, Vince with the one eye open. All right, we'll take it. Sooner Man, Donna, Dammit Sean, BN Pro, Kivamaki, Toe Cramp, what's up? It's the Marios in the house. Steve King, Uncle Andy Ficus, what's up, Ficus? It's been a bit. Donna, how you doing? Alan Krantz, what's up? Crap's cooked because it's not the Cowboys. Oh, God. My crap's crooked. Oh, I get it. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Nick Majors, Big B, or Eric B, what's up, man? Lucid, good to see you as well. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the show. I cannot tell. There's some issues on the stream, even though it's coming through. It's not giving me any, it's not showing anything for Rumble. So hopefully I'm streaming on Rumble as well. But if not, I will upload this later for the Rumble people. Can I show the Seahawks versus Packers brawl? No, I missed that one. Man. I got to watch that later. New grass for DC. That's right, Alan. Donna says, I should write an album. You love those songs? Oh, man. Well, thank you very much. I make them with the help of AI, which is pretty crazy what AI can do these days. Mr. TKO, what's up? Steffi, Igoris, what's up, man? Good to see you guys. All right. I'm going to lead with this insane story today. This is just, people are freaking out about this. Maybe I'll show the brawl towards the end of the show, guys, but you show NFL clips, you can get in trouble fast on YouTube. Just saying. Anyways, let me, this story today broke and X is freaking out about this, about what this means. So check this out, guys. Today, the Trump administration came out and said it's reviewing 55 million people with U.S. visas here for potential deportation violations. 55 million people here on visas. That is insanity. That's insane. And the AP reported this, which is great. I mean, this is something you'd think they'd want to hide because the implications of this are massive. If this is true, so much we think we know about our population is untrue. And a lot of things we think are, well, like your common sense would tell you based on your life experience or what's going on with the economy, a lot of it's going to be solved once you or at least understood through these numbers. 55 million people here on visas, and that's not including 20 to 40 million illegal immigrants. It's possible there's 100 million people in our country that are immigrants and not citizens, not immigrants who came here to be citizens, just chilling here. That is freaking insane, guys. And if this is true, which I believe these numbers, I mean, they have the numbers for the visas. But if we're really looking at 75 to 100 million immigrants that have just been chilling here and they've just been coming over no problem for probably decades now, I mean, that you're looking at, they say there's 330 million people here in the U.S. from the census. But, you know, the census, a lot of it is estimates. You know, it's not exact numbers. They go and they knock on doors and people don't answer. So they have to make adjustments for that. And so it's a guesstimate. But on top of that, they're not counting all the immigrants. So it's very possible there's 400 plus million people here and only 300 million of those are citizens. It's possible that there's 250 million citizens and only out of 330 million. We don't know. And that's a scary freaking thought. But if the Trump administration, this tells me that they are trying to get this way down. I have a feeling they're going to stop stop extending these. They're going to push out as many as they can. But the effect on what this has got to be doing to our economy is got to be insane, guys. Especially because the numbers aren't going to be. This just throws off all of our numbers. I mean, here's your housing crisis. That's more than the combined population of 25 entire states. More than 25 states worth of people are here on visas. I guarantee you, I looked everywhere. There's nowhere, even though the AP reported this, they're not bringing this up in the mainstream media. They do not want this out there, this information. How was this hidden from us for so long? I'm going to show you another crazy stat in a little bit here about what the Biden administration was allowing in. We got some of the actual numbers from 2023. They're shocking. But if it wasn't just illegals flooding the gates because it's open border season, which we all know is true. But if they were also just throwing out visas like freaking Oprah, you get a visa and you get a visa and you get a visa. If they were just throwing them out there to anybody who wanted to come over here and stay, that's another way to just choke out our people. Our economy might not actually be that bad. You get rid of all these people. Even if we got it down to 30 million legally here on visas and got rid of all the illegals, that could cut it down. That could cut down our population by 60 to 70 million people. You wonder why it's been hard to find jobs? I mean, this is shocking stuff. Absolutely, just crazy stuff. Here's Milo. For over 20 years, we were told the population of the U.S. was stuck around 330 million, when in reality, millions were being added every year. Think what this does to the healthcare system. Stress takes the stress off, opens up the wait times. Uncle Andy just nailed it in the chat. Costs go way down. You know, we live in a capitalist society, supply and demand. You get rid of millions and tens of millions of people that shouldn't be here in the first place. Well, you get way cheaper goods, way cheaper food, way cheaper energy, because there's less toll on the system, less demand for the goods. And then, so everything goes down in price. Our services go down in price. And then on top of that, good jobs open up because employers are going to be like, oh my God, we need people. This is crazy. 55 million people. I hope you're all as shocked as I am. He also writes, the real number of people here are probably close to 400 million, of which 300 million are legal citizens. 1 in 4 are foreign currently, and half of those are illegal. Now, again, I mean, I have to stress all the time, I'm the son of an immigrant. He came over in 1952 as a baby, my father. And, so my uncle, my oldest uncle was born in Austria. My grandfather was born in Austria. I'm not against immigration, but I'm against illegal immigration, and I'm against unfettered immigration. I mean, this is just shocking stuff. And thankfully, unlike the climate story I covered the other day, this one will be covered a little bit more because this has to get out there. This should outrage our population. We talked the other night about how the climate scam has stolen so much from us. How much is this stealing from us? And I'm not even going to get into whether they're good people or not. That doesn't matter. Maybe 50% of them are wonderful people. I don't freaking care. Our country is struggling. Our citizens are struggling. You're going to have to go home until we figure it out. If I have my kids' friends over and they're wonderful and they're the best people and they're staying for a few nights. My son has a buddy over and he's crashing for a few nights. I'm feeding him. I don't care because I love him. He's a great kid. And then tragedy hits our home and all of a sudden I got to figure some stuff out. guess what, buddy? I love you. You're a great kid. You're going home. That's how we have to look at this. Our people are struggling. Our economy is struggling. It's time to send people home. Brett says, look at the amount of money the Medi-Cal hemorrhaged within 10 months, $12 billion. You start multiplying that by states at a time, we're telling trillion. Absolutely. I mean, it's the craziest freaking thing. It's insane. Toe Cramp says, get everyone out. You got to empty the fishbowl, clean it. Absolutely. We're at that point. And I believe that the Trump administration, the reason they're going through this is so they can find every single reason to send people out. But look at this. I mean, Pew Research. So here's the numbers. Pew Research dug in and found these numbers for 2023 with the illegals. Illegal immigrant population reached a record 14 million in 2023. And we know this is short. Okay. But they did their best. But this is after the largest increase in 2 years recorded. I got to tell you, I believe that this was just maybe what happened in 2 years. Because the other ones, they get people have been here 10, 15 years. They're a lot harder to find. They get embedded in the system. They get a job. They have a house. They have a car. They're a lot harder to find. They've mostly blended in. But still, the shock of even what they're able to tabulate is just under the Biden administration, just in the first 2 years, they were able to count almost 3 million that went up. So it's just, and again, this is way under what it actually is, but these numbers are still shocking. These numbers are still shocking. Continued growth. I mean, look at this. 3.5 million in 1990 that they knew of. So even in just the numbers they know of from 1990 to 2023, we went up almost 4 times. Just letting them in. And I'll be honest with you guys. I'm at the point where I think the illegal immigrant population was actually at the top before Trump got in. It's probably closer to 30 million. So 30 million and then the 55 million visas. But the visas in some ways, now the illegal ones it really pisses me off because they broke our laws, and also the Biden administration allowed them to just come in as much as they wanted. And a lot of, let's be honest, a lot of old school Republicans were applauding it. Koch brother Republicans who will like the cheap later, they're applauding it. So, that's disgusting. That pisses me off. But the visas really make me mad too. We're talking a lot of these are H-1B visas, bringing in people into the tech world, especially Indians. But with 55 million, it's way more than just them. But that's legally just bringing people in and giving them a legal status so they can stay. And somebody writes, citizens are struggling, but it seems like most of the foreigners aren't. Yeah, Big B. You know why? Because they come over here, they get hooked up. So if they're going through the visa program, most of them either get hooked up with a job or they're being sent with money to go to school or something. So they're already hooked up. And then the illegals are just being given money and food and housing. And I mean, they're getting more welfare than our poorest citizens are. And I'm not a big fan of a huge welfare system. I think there's something should be there for if you're down and out for a short period of time and you've been a taxpayer and you're just trying to get back on your feet. I mean, that's okay. Fine. Help us out for a little bit. Help out a single mom with some kids who's either their husband died or abandoned them. Help them out for a little bit. That's fine. Those are our citizens. We'll take care of our own. But taking care of people who just come in here, that's insane. That is insane. And it makes me sick. And JD Vance did a great little speech on this tonight, and I just want to play this clip because he nails it right here. And I forgot. I'm sorry. Future President JD Vance. That's how we address him here. But yeah, this is a great little clip.
If you go back 50, 60 years, what is the fastest period for blue-collar wages rising in the United States of America? It is the time that we are living in right now, thanks to the economic policies of Donald J. Trump. You know what the worst thing for people at the bottom of the income ladder is? It's when you flood the country with millions upon millions of illegal aliens and force our poor Americans to compete for jobs against low-wage foreigners who don't even have the legal right to be here. That is what destroys the wages and the livelihoods of people who are struggling in this country. We want to empower them to live the American dream. That's why we're protecting their jobs, lowering their taxes, and fighting to make their country safe again.
There it is. Saying that tying the economy directly to this is important. For most of my life, my whole life, I don't know. I mean, this was barely talked about under Clinton, barely talked about under Bush a little bit more, but remember, that was compassionate conservatism. We got to find a way to give them a path to citizenship. And then Obama with the Dreamers and stuff. But nobody ever talked about the economic toll this takes on the middle class and the poor class, the lower class. Nobody ever talked about that. It was always just the benefits of having them here. And that's why we got to figure it out. They're just trying to make it. Americans won't do these jobs anyways. Well, it turns out we would, and we want them, and we don't like our stuff being stolen from us. So, going all the way back to this, I think just seeing this alone is enough shock where it's going to force action. So, because I'm seeing it all over. If you type 55 million into X, I'll do it right now. I'll type 55 million, and you'll just see all the posts, just apoplectic. It's just nonstop. This is trending. It's all over the place. It just, people are pissed. Everybody's putting together what it means. And this is the kind of thing we need for stuff to happen. So this is good. This is a really good thing that this just got. Ari. I love it. But this is what we need. This is exposure. This is how it starts. And I have a feeling that the Trump administration wanted this out, maybe even leaked it out, so that the people would start waking up to this and get even mad. The immigration stuff is so under control right now. We're literally having 0 releases into the country for 3 months in a row. Kristi Noem just wrote a wonderful op-ed about how it's fully under control. The border is the most secure it's ever been. But then you add this on top of it. This is just a perfect little drop to keep immigration on people's minds. And right now, the job market's tough. It really is. I'm thankful I'm employed. But my kids want jobs. My teenagers. It used to be if you're a teenager, you could go find a cheap job easy. My son is really struggling to get a job. Really struggling. Nobody wants to hire him. I'm like, dude, this is cheap labor. Why don't you want to hire him? It's like a teenager should be able to get a cheap, easy job. Nope. It's tough. And we live in one of the good states. North Carolina is one of the best economies of all the states in the land. And yet he can't find a job. And so we're supposed to be just booming right now, 4.2 unemployment. This answers a lot of it, doesn't it? Why housing is out of control, why the job market is so bad right now, why wages won't go up, how many of our problems are going to go away just by clearing this up. Remember a couple months ago, or maybe about a month ago, I played the Ann Coulter stuff where she was describing just the impact it could have of getting millions of people out. Well, then we were only thinking 10 to 20 million illegals, 55 million with visas. Even if we can get half of those out of here for that just shouldn't be here, overstayed their welcome, maybe committed a crime, maybe should have never been let in the first place. We could just get half of them gone. We're talking massive benefits to the people of this country. And the business community is going to bitch and moan. The Democrats are going to cry about it because they need these votes. They need this. It's not just the illegals who illegally vote. They've been people on student visas been busted voting. So all that, they cheat and they cheat and they cheat. So they're going to gripe about it, but the quality of life is going to improve so much. Here's JD again talking about the Democrats with the illegal voting. Future President JD Vance.
I think we have a good chance, but take nothing for granted, Laura. You have the Democrats are still trying to register illegal aliens. They still explicitly say that they want illegal aliens to vote in federal elections. We still have, I think, a lot of headwinds from the media. They never tell the truth about what we're doing, about what the president has accomplished for the American people. So don't rest on our laurels. Keep on achieving victories for the American people and keep on trying to win.
Just flat out says the Democrats are trying to register illegals to vote. Absolutely wild. Brett says, who's going to be this proverbial simple jack? I'm sure there's quite a bit of them. Let's see. Mark R., migrating out of California. You too? Looking at Ohio, Lake area, North Carolina. I'm in outside of Charlotte, man. You come around Charlotte, we'll meet up. That'd be great. Love it. Stephen Cromer says they're painting the border wall black so it gets too hot to touch. Every little thing that helps, man. Vidman says, I read a National Review article 25 years ago showed each country's legal and illegal immigrants' favorite government handout they signed up for in a day or two of arriving. Really? I would love if that article was still available somewhere. That sounds very interesting. Igora says there are people on green cards that never expire. They're protesting because they have criminal records. Too bad. Yeah, if you commit a crime, get the bleep out. As we saw, where did I have that pulled up? You commit a crime, get out. Get out. So anyways, that's a crazy story. I will be definitely following up on it, seeing how what the Trump administration is doing on this. Remember I reported the other day, 1.6 million have already left the country. That's a great start. That means that on the illegal front, we're on pace to see up to 14 million gone by the end of 2028. That's an amazing pace. Hopefully we do that. With this going on as well, I think the Trump administration might be able to pull off getting rid of 20 to 35 million in 4 years. We might be able to pull that off. Because if these people are, well, they're not law-abiding if they commit crimes, but if they find out more, these people aren't going to want to stay because it's just going to get worse and worse for them. If it's between being locked up in American federal prison or going home, they're going to go home. So there's a lot of hope here. There's a lot of hope. The exposure, it means hope. The exposure is really good. Donna says, my work involves answering the service phone at Toyota. I can tell English isn't their first language when I'm in there 10 years. It's 60-40 English, broken English. Wow. Yeah. So Florida's opening up a second detention center, man. Just Mike says, I wish I wouldn't paint the wall. Huge additional expense for very little benefit. Well, he's got I mean, is it a huge additional expense for our government? I don't know. Probably. Kim Wiley says, my daughter just graduated high school, spent the summer looking for work, land a state government job as a civilian security on military posts, thanks to JROTC. That's awesome. Good for her. All right. Well, let's move on to the next story, which is a lot more happy. This one's outrageous. But this next one just made me happy. So today it was announced that the New York Appeals Court threw out Trump's $500 million civil fraud penalty. So this is a massive loss for Letitia. Bye, Felicia. There's a massive loss for her over here. And this guy, oh God, what is that? Judge Ergeron, something like that. Massive loss that now he's going to own nothing. They're going to go through it, but it was just the whole fee was waived away. So that was one of their big victories, just completely gone. And there's some crazy details here. Like with out of that 500 million, while they were appealing it, they had to pay $110,000 per day in interest on the bond. How insane is that? Insane. It is just crazy. So Carolyn Levitt shares Trump breaking it down here. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but these were all political trials in an effort to destroy my viability, blah, blah, blah. And he goes through it all, just how Basically he's vindicated again. I mean, every single time one of these cases is actually put before the appeals court or goes before the Supreme Court, we just win. We win with the people who actually understand the Constitution, the people who actually understand law, people who are not politically motivated. We win because this has all been such nonsense. And now the big narrative, the big narrative they're trying to push on the left is, well, let's stop it. We admit we went too far. It's time to stop it. It's time, let's be the bigger man. This is just going to keep continuing. No, you punch these bullies in the face. You take them down. Trump's going to take down the Russiagate people. He's going to take down Letitia James. He's going to take down corrupt judges. This is just going to keep going. The justice is here, folks, and it's not revenge if you're righting wrongs that affect the country. It's not. So just keep on pushing and go. But this is, it's just such a huge win, and everybody's gloating. This is great. So Letitia James posted her original win. That's all she posted. Cool post, yo. And then this is what people are replying with $0. By the way, if you guys use Grok Imagine where you can put the photos in, this is pretty crazy. Pretty crazy stuff what AI is doing, man, I gotta say. Lincoln Project's out here being Donald Trump still convicted felon, while Rich Barris replies, nobody gives a shit. 0 given, bruh. He was elected president anyway. Cry more. It's funny. It is funny. I mean, I gotta say, like, as somebody on the right, somebody loves the MAGA movement, loves President Trump, I'm so here for this. Do you know, like, how much crap we went through since he got elected the first time? As Trump supporters, I'm sure most of you totally understand it. Family being rude to you or outright distancing themselves from you, loss of friends, the media telling us we're stupid or in a cult or jerks for almost a decade. An entire party plus our own party, many of them turning on us, telling us we're violent. I mean, 10 years almost, we've been going through this crap. I lost one of my best friends over this, a friend of 20 years. The TDS got to him so bad. The left got to him so bad. He cut me off. I mean, family that just we're not as close anymore just because of this, because they think I'm insane for being a Trump supporter. I mean, the sacrifices we've made relationally, I'm sure financially. I mean, God, I can't even begin to imagine now when you're applying for jobs or looking for work and they go find your social media, that kind of stuff. They see anything Trump. I mean, come on. This stuff, even though we're the majority of the country, they have tried to oppress us like no one's business. And so I feel so happy about every single one of these things happening. It is such vindication. And it's only been half a year, folks. We got 3.5 more years of this minimum. But with all the winning we're doing, we're here to take power, and it's going to keep going. 2028, 2032. Do you understand that if we get through 2026 with the House and Senate, it's going to be almost impossible for the Democrats to win as they are in 2032 or even in a midterm in 2030, because the census numbers are all shifting at that point. And all the blue states, people have been ditching them, been running to the red states. So when you figure all the illegals going out, the new census numbers are going to give more seats and more electoral votes to Florida, Texas, Arizona, red states, folks. The Democrats are in a bad place. The left, if they don't reform and find their own, the Obama 2.0, they are going to be out of power for a decade plus. I think we are looking at 10 to 15 years minimum where we are the dominant force in America. And the only way we lose it is by the left moderating or by us completely wiping it out. But what we saw in 2024, to me, was the equivalent of 1932, when Hoover, and at that time the Republicans, oversaw the 1929 crash and led us into the Great Depression. And after that, Democrats won 5 straight elections. 5 straight elections. That's what we're heading for, my friends. If this continues, and I think we're only at the beginning of it, I really do. Because the most important part in all of this is not that the Democrats lost an election. It's that they lost the culture. They lost the culture and they destroyed themselves as a party. And so we're, and the more Trump gets vindicated, the more people are going to wake up to. D6 says, I didn't lose friends. People who pretend to be my friends. I mean, I got to say, the guy I lost was a true friend before he went crazy. We had too many good memories together for years and years and years. Media preys on weak-minded people. It does, Andy. You're absolutely right. Yeah. MAGA does have a very deep bench. We're only getting better. We're a young movement. Our golden age is coming, Nick. Vince says, me and my brother don't speak anymore because of TDS. Oh, ouch. Sorry about that. Think about suing the Democrats for reparations. You should see how that goes. Here's what Trump posted today after. I'm going to show you guys this. After the win, the announcement of getting the the appeals court.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. All I do is win, 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 no matter what.
This is the best. He's just the best. We do not deserve this wonderful winning man. But I mean, speaking of losing culture, the Democrats they still haven't figured it out. Look at, this is trending everywhere because it's so insane. Look what they've just done to Cracker Barrel. Have you guys seen this nonsense? So with Cracker Barrel, they've completely redone the logo and the inside of the stores. Here's the new logo. They took away the guy sitting down with his barrel, and the insides now just look like a Denny's. They're completely, they ruin everything they touch. I mean, I'm a marketer, I understand. Cracker Barrel survives because of old people wanting to go there. You don't change that. But we're finding out that a lot of this is intentional. It's not just bad marketing. So Christopher Rufo, who's led the charge on a great deal of the DEI stuff coming out of the universities, says, I'm hearing chatter from behind the scenes about the Cracker Barrel campaign, and on second thought, we must break the barrel. It's not about this particular restaurant chain, who cares, but about creating massive pressure against companies considering any move might appear to be wokeification. The implicit promise, go woke, watch your stock drop 20%, which is exactly what's happening now. The barrel must be broken. And here's Robbie Starbuck, who helped expose Target and Bud Light last year and really lead to their changes and helped basically destroy Pride Month. Says this image from a Cracker Barrel employee says the company sponsors a far-left LGBTQ HRC dinner for 10 years. Did you guys know Cracker Barrel was woke all this time? I didn't know. They did a good job hiding it. HRC worked extremely hard to elect Kamala and constantly attacks Republicans. They support sex changes for kids in men and women's bathrooms, locker rooms. Why has Cracker Barrel been funding this? He's going to do a video on it tomorrow, but here you go right here. Proud sponsor, 2020 HRC National Equality Dinner, and they did a rainbow chair. Just makes you sick, doesn't it? You know? And look at how ugly this is. Like they don't even know what they're doing. So here's original Cracker Barrel. You know what I always liked about Cracker Barrel? I'm not a big fan, by the way, but I would go because my grandpa loved it and my wife's grandparents loved it. So we'd end up at Cracker Barrel a lot when we were hanging out with family. The one thing I liked about it felt like I was going to a different time and place. But now they're replacing it with this ugliness. This is just gross. What, do you understand anything at all? I mean, the left is so out of touch with culture. You cannot win. So with Bud Light, they take this manly brand, patriotic brand, at least that was what, people identified it as, and they put a trans dude dressed up as a chick promoting the beer. So stupid. Target, where suburban moms love to shop. Suburban moms tend to be the most right-leaning and conservative of all the moms in the nation. And Target puts up all the LGBT stuff at the front, just pushing that pride stuff on kids. These people are stupid. They're so arrogant now, they've gone stupid. And that's in our right. And here's the thing, they're blind to it. They have no clue what they think. They're just not getting their message out enough. They think they're not trying hard enough. Let them think that. Let them think that, because this will continue to rot their party from the core outward. They are going to get less and less popular as this continues. They're already in the tank. They have no support anymore, except for the hardcore people, and even they're all eating their own. And now it's starting to show up in the money. Look at this. Cash on hand as of July 31st. The RNC has 84 million. The DNC is 13.9 million. The DNC has less cash this summer than any point in the last 5 years. So they're bleeding out their money. They don't have any money. Nobody's given to them anymore. They lost their gravy train when USAID went away. Act Blue, which is another one of their money laundering schemes, under investigation, so they can't do as much right now. And they're just showing they have no base. This is all donations going into the national committees, and they just have no support. They have no clue. And you know what? That's okay. We want it that way, because we're not done destroying them. And I don't mean physically, obviously. I don't condone violence. We're not done destroying the Democratic brand. We're not done destroying liberalism, modern liberalism, and communism, which is what it really is. We have to destroy this ideology till it can never survive again. It's time. The 20th century was the communist century. Marx created it in the 19th century. It got into Russia, got into China, killed way more people than Hitler. We're talking hundreds of millions of people. They starved their own people. Communism killed more people and robbed more people of wealth than any other system in world history. And it did it all in less than 100 years. And it tried to take over our country. And the Democrats went completely with it. It's time to destroy the idea of communism once and for all. Put Karl Marx lazy ass back on the curb and never let his stupid, destructive, evil ideology come back. And that's what we're doing. That's what I do this show as much as I do, to expose the truth and to expose how destructive it is, but also how, once you see what's really happening, how impossible it is to believe in it. Alan says even California redistricts could bite them in the jackass. Lots of Californians change. It's going to backfire on Newsom. AJ Trader says problem is that most of the country is tolerant of different identities. Well, yes and no, AJ Trader. You're right. There's tolerance there, but that tolerance is actually going away fast. For the first time in years, it's a minority of people polled that agree with something like gay marriage. It's that tolerance is going away because they pushed too far. And the tolerance was there because at first it was just like, we're doing whatever over there. They weren't coming for the kids yet. They weren't trying to push all this trans stuff. But everything changed once the gay marriage passed with the Supreme Court, which might get overturned in the next year based on what's going through the courts. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. So culture changes and then politics is downstream. Politics changes as well. But you're right. And that's, listen, there's lesbians in my family. I mean, it's tough. It's a tough thing to deal with, and still be loving as people. So, but we'll get there. We'll get there. They remove the cracker and the barrel. Vince says, wait till the indictments start coming out and they roll on each other. Oh yeah, that'll come. You see Adam Schiff is trying to raise money right now for his defense. Who's going to pay for that? Uncle Andy says it looked like McDonald's or Taco Bell now. Their brands gave up original look to be boring cookie cutter. Yeah, there's no, but hey, going back to that real quick, it's a great point you're making. Do you know what ideology? I mean, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Do you know what ideology believes in just everything being simple and no expression and no art, no joy? It's communism. It's communism. They don't believe in it, So Lochtefeld over on Rumble. What's up, Rumble? Glad it's working over there. Says there's no difference between a Democrat and a socialist. 100%, man. Absolutely, 100%. Absolutely right. So, just Mike, I bet you have. But this right here, guys, this is what communism looks like. Even though there's even a little bit more color than the communism. But that's the difference. Look at all the culture on the left. Lots of culture over on the left. On the right, just drab, boring. They just can't. They can't allow any culture. The good, but we're going to defeat them. The Supreme Court continues to make sure that we're going to be able to keep pushing this through. So today, the Supreme Court granted the emergency appeal to freeze $780 million in NIH grants for health research. It's not health research. You know what it actually was for? DEI in our national health institutes. This was money allocated and pushed by Anthony Fauci. Yes, the criminal himself, Anthony Fauci, and Trump was going to get rid of it. And now the Supreme Court has ruled that that is absolutely okay. We keep winning. And you know what's interesting? 5-4 ruling. Roberts this time joined the liberals. Amy Coney Barrett with the win. Amy Coney Barrett's been on a good streak lately, guys. For a while there. It's really interesting to me. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. There continually is a trend where a major player in MAGA, whether it's, there's a lot of them. They get out there and they do a couple things we disagree with, and then MAGA turns on them. Whoosh. It's happened with Amy Coney Barrett, Pam Bondi, a couple others. But then they turn around and they do great going forward. And so that tells me one of two things. Either A, the public pressure is working, or B, there might be some operation going on to keep exposing the people who will turn on a dime. And I think Trump, one thing Trump is doing, who was talking about this the other day? They were basically saying that all politics, Einstein said that basically all politics is a show. And you don't really see what's going on behind the scenes. And there's definitely some truth to that. They only let you see what they want you to see. But, I was listening to, I can't remember the name. Anyways, this guy studied this, okay? And he studied the difference in what he's noticed in our politicians and our government over the last 100 years. And he said around 2013, 2014, around that time, he noticed a major shift in how politicians started communicating. And he noticed it because the internet at that point had grown so strong, it made it impossible to now hide things. And he said because of that, what happened is the politicians went from keeping everything under the vest and being much more secretive to now just bombing us with information all the time. So we're constantly distracted and we don't know what's true. He said that was the big shift happened around 2013, 2014, which has now been over a decade. It makes a lot of sense why everything feels so sped up now, why we have to spend so much time weeding through the noise now. It didn't used to be like that. But it's a good thing because it does mean that in all of that, the truth is somewhere. And we can always see the truth somewhere in all of that. But we have to go through it. Okay? So when we see these people get turned on, when they're appointed by Trump or they're supposed to be on our side, but they feel like a disappointment, and then they turn around after that, it does make you wonder how much of it is staged for exposure. I feel like the entire Trump administration is one big psyop, but I mean that in a good way. I feel like they are constantly testing things, constantly throwing stuff out there to keep the media, the deep state, off their scent. And it's why I am not a reactive person with the Trump administration, why I always choose to trust no matter what's going on. It doesn't mean they're perfect. Of course, they all make mistakes. They're human. But I do believe they're always pulling in the right direction. They will correct the mistakes when they make them. Trump's earned that trust for me. More wins here. Kash Patel. Violent criminals arrests have doubled under Trump. Look at this. In half a year, they've already caught 20,000 violent criminals versus all of Biden's last year, only 11,000. They were letting them go last year. And this year, look at this. Oh, I was wrong. It's January. It's the same months. But still, that's almost double. So we're putting them away. We're keeping our streets clean. Just good stuff, guys. Good stuff. The Epstein files continue to stay. So judges are keeping them bound up. Clinton appointed this judge. He rejected the DOJ's bid to unseal the records from the grand jury that indicted Epstein in 2019. The judge says it's a distraction from releasing everything else. And MJ Truth says, why are they so afraid of inside those 70 pages? Good question. Good question. The Wiener laptop has been being brought up a lot more again because of all the Clinton exposure going on with John Solomon. This is where we're starting to get justice. This post right here, Wiener laptop would topple the Clintons, some of the most prominent officials, elites in the U.S. government itself. This is why, by the way, a lot of the stuff the Trump administration does has to be taking you off the scent, because the deep state has to be kept on their toes as this stuff gets released and the people are waking up. But also stuff has to be seeded out to the people, because the darkest stuff has not come out yet, guys. Not by any specter of the imagination. Wiener laptop found by NYPD during Wiener investigation October 2016 for sex crimes against a minor, but found to contain some of the most horrific crimes in American history. Laptop contained actual kill switches or evidence of crimes so horrific NYPD had to literally leave the room, and 9+ officers ended up suicided. What many people don't understand is when the Clinton email scandal, Wiener laptop exposed a lot more than just classified documents. It exposed child trafficking, abuse, Epstein, connections to Clinton Foundation, other high-ranking officials in our government. Some of the crimes are now being exposed in real time. Is why Russia collusion hoax is so important. What have I told you guys? I've been saying this since the beginning of July, when all this Epstein stuff started, that I think the Russia hoax stuff has everything to also do with the Epstein files. And now I'm not alone in that. Some of the crimes on Wiener's laptop related to Clinton Foundation exposed money laundering, child exploitation, sex crimes with minors, perjury, pay to play through Clinton Foundation, obstruction of justice, and many others. What are we going to get from this? Government would fall if the Wiener laptop was released. Wild stuff, guys. Absolutely wild stuff. By the way, if you guys get a chance to listen to this interview, I haven't been listening to Tucker as much lately because I haven't been super excited about his guests. And Tucker seems like he's trying out some weird stuff I'm not quite sure I'm on board with. But this interview he had that released today was fantastic. And I highly recommend listening to it. They touch on all kinds of conspiracy stuff, and it's really good. This guy knows what he's talking about. Donna says, I cut off liberal friends from my childhood through 2021 when my mom and childhood friend died. I hadn't lived there and left when I was 21, but once home a year. Liberals, I don't know. I love that. AJ Chair, we have to take personal responsibility, not blindly accept what anybody tells us. Take the next step, verify, develop our own opinions. Absolutely. Yeah, Uncle Andy, I'm not talking about that, but yes, you're right. Vince Felice says the learning curve from the first term is off the charts. Now he's got an all-star team around him. He does. He really, really does. And he obviously thinks so. Listen to this. Trump calling out Pam Bondi today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And Pam, thank you very much. What a job. People don't realize, they're going to see she'll go down as the greatest attorney general we've had. I really mean it, too. And where's my Christie? You dear.
You guys hear that? Okay, Trump does not throw this stuff out there lightly. If you watch Trump over the years, he compliments a lot of people. But when he drops a massive compliment like the one he just dropped, that means that person is in his inner circle now. They're in the inner circle. And if you're in, you're in. There's no falling out. So whatever Bondi's up to right now must be massive. I mean, one more time. Look at this.
Thank you very much. What a job. People don't realize, they're going to see she'll go down as the...
See that? People don't realize with Pam Bondi, they're going to see she'll go down as the greatest attorney general we've had. He never said that about Bill Barr. I'm just saying. He really mean it too. He reemphasizes it. So, again, I think the Bondi stuff was a psyop. I think the mistakes she made, I think they might actually not be mistakes. I think that it all might come out at some point. We find out the Trump administration was playing us all this whole time. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that as long as we get to where we need to go. I don't care how we get there. I trust this man. I trust this team to get us there. And if they do, I don't care if they threw us off a little bit along the way. But that's why you guys have me to do the work. Just like with the Elon stuff. I told you guys, don't worry. This isn't going to end up bad. There's nothing to worry about. And what just happened? No American Party. He's going all in on J.D. Vance. There we go. AJ Chair, it's infuriating. Trump's trying to be brought to justice for these false crimes actually perpetrated by the Democrats' projection. Oh, they project all the time. It's all they know how to do. They lie and they lie. And of course they lie. Look at when you get stuff like this. This is disgusting. I'm just going to play this real quick because this is just a justice we can't forget about. We're going after the Clintons. We're going to get that Epstein stuff, I do believe. But we also can't let Fauci and all the big pharma, the scientists get off. Because when you hear this kind of stuff, these people are some of the most evil people to ever live.
Implant aborted baby parts into lab animals. Have you heard of that sort of research?
Yeah, we did an analysis a few years ago showing that over 90% of experiments with using human fetal tissue and putting them involved animals were funded by Fauci's NIAID.
Do you know where they're getting the aborted human fetal tissue?
A lot of it is happening at colleges and universities that have affiliated hospitals that perform that procedure.
Madam Chair.
Aborted baby parts into lab animals. Thankfully, Trump is defunding Planned Parenthood all across the nation, getting rid of it. It's fallen apart. But you guys do know that Planned Parenthood, the whole abortion thing is a scam to get baby parts. That's why they push abortion so much. Well, two reasons. They also want to depopulate us. They want to depopulate us. They want us to not value children. And they want to keep populations under control. like they've achieved with the black population. It's the most horrific, disgusting stuff. If you read Margaret Sanger, her stuff, she was the most awful person, eugenist, racist, terrible, terrible person. And this is the kind of stuff they were doing with them. This is why. And listen, if you were ever pro-abortion, God bless you. There's forgiveness, but this is what it's really all about. It's not about a woman having a choice. It's not about career. They say that because they have to package it. The truth is it's about horrifyingly using this stuff for experiments and for other things I'm not going to be talking about tonight. But it's horrors beyond your imagination, and that's what that's what Planned Parenthood is actually all about. Who's this? Oh, says I calculate 293 million Americans, 54 million immigrants and migrants, with 20 million legal and 34 million illegally last time you estimated. Interesting, but we just found out 55 million are legal. So, but that is interesting. I wonder how you calculate that. Oh, I'd be interested in seeing that. Chris Ronquillo says a lot of people realize the job she's doing when she fixes the stock market. And just, well, I get that. And that's our little bubble, because the stock market fight, the stock market calls for justice, very small part of the population. And that's just the facts. I want to see it done as well. I do. It's secondary, tertiary to me to all this other stuff, because all this other stuff is so much more horrific. It involves children. It involves our livelihoods. And so I think what Trump's doing is, I'm not mad at his priorities. Let me put it that way. But the stock market does have to be fixed, because ultimately it will come down to people's retirements and their ability to grow wealth, which is very important as well. Not as important as these other things, but it is very important. And so I believe it will get to there. I really do. And yes, you're right. A lot of people wake up to Bondi when that happens too. Asks, how many Americans globally plus USA Native Americans altogether? 313 million more than 90% locate. Interesting. I wonder how you got those numbers. I mean, it sounds very technical and sound like you know your stuff. D6 room for Pam. Let's have conviction. Amen. We got to get there. And speaking of the stock market, this is where I'm going to end tonight. Bam posted this today. Now, I've had Bam on a couple times, interview him. I think he's one of the smartest men I've ever met. And listen, I know I don't throw that out easily. I know a lot of people. They're all smart in their ways, some more than others when it comes to just pure intellectual ism. But Bam is legit he's one of the few people in my life I've met that I'm kind of in awe of his brain. I trust him. He is a patriot. He is a great, great guy. And he is brilliant. His technology is brilliant for the stock market. Well, Bam put out this post today, and this is a little cryptic, but it speaks to something that I think we all still believe has to happen, which is a market correction of some sort. And this is just very interesting. So I'll just read it and then give my thoughts. He writes, I've only talked to a few friends about the accusation I'm going public with today. Prior to this, I've only told friends, institutional traders, or risk desk, a major bank, someone in power is retroactively changing the NASDAQ stock index futures data in order to obfuscate how bearish this market is. In other words, Bam's stuff, his algorithm, his systems are all just showing that the stock market is absolutely terrible right now as far as the underlying elements and factors that should be holding it up. Like the foundation of it all is rotten. That's the best way to put it. And he's saying they're hiding it. My hunch is they needed to do that in order to distribute stock into the recent manipulated top. They exit and try to leave you holding the bag and dip buying on the way down. There is a high probability the cabal is planning to pull a Ronald Reagan 87-ish event on Trump in the next 2 months. So he's saying his model shows we could see a stock market crash in the next 2 months. Again, none of this is for sure. Even just putting it out there, they can postpone stuff. But we've known that something has to happen at some point. It is all fake. It's all fake. And it's going to be interesting. But the fact Bam put this out tells me that he's seeing stuff that is, he just couldn't be silent anymore. They said they know Trump watches markets, talks about markets. The best way to hurt him badly is to mini crash or crash his stock market. Although it's normal to have bad prints corrected across the board in individual stocks and the major market averages, removal of bad prints is normally done within hours or days at worst. Changes I've been tracking are done weeks or months after the fact. And in my opinion, this is done very strategically in order to game the technical indicators most of you follow and trade off. We all know too well how corrupt the naked short selling dynamics have been in our market for years. This is next level financial market terrorism. I've been tracking data at all fractal timeframes for decades, and the only reason I'm seeing this while others have not is based on the very specific mechanics of my behavior analysis model. It's actually a fluke anyone would see this, as their quant models work off current data triggers and big data sets outside of my price-based model that captures and saves all past data. The best hedge is UVXY, in my opinion. It's wildly mispriced based on decades of data I track, and once it turns higher, the advance will most likely include multiple gap higher moves that leave most wannabe hedgers flat-footed. Good luck. And he says Bitcoin as well. There should be a major correction. So listen, we might get our market correction and our market fraud fixed by a crash happening first. I've been saying the last few months that I think Trump is pulling off an economic miracle. And I think that miracle is that he's setting up the foundations of the Main Street economy to be strong enough that if the market crashes, it doesn't destroy our economy. We go through a blip and we weather it much better than we would have without Trump. And I think, and then we rebuild into the golden age. I think that's where we're heading with this, with what could be coming. But we've been watching for so long how fraudulent this market is. And it's so bad that this house of cards, the only way to fix it is to have it crumble first and rebuild. There is no fixing it on the fly. It's too destroyed. It's not real. And what Bam is saying is that he thinks they're getting ready to pull that last Jenga brick out and it collapses. So we'll have to watch and see if he's right. Timing is obviously impossible to predict, but Bam knows his stuff. His model is fantastic. It doesn't always mean the timing is right, but his points usually get to where they're supposed to go. So what does this mean for us? It means we could see massive short squeezes soon, followed by massive drops. Things could get wild really soon, and in the overall market, we might see as he said, an 87 Black Monday type crash. I'm not predicting anything. I'm just reading what he's sharing and saying why I trust it and why I think it's worth paying attention to. So if this happens, though, it will open the door for Trump to go after them and fix everything. The last time we had this happen, guys, was 2008. And there was no justice after that because Obama was completely owned by Wall Street and the deep state. He let them all off the hook, and then he built a worse system on top of it. That will not happen under the Trump administration. Trump will use it. And just like I believe everything else, just like the assassination attempt and the attacks on his character and the indictments against him, everything they've thrown at Trump, the political attacks, everything they've thrown at Trump has not only failed, it's rebounded and made him stronger. And not just him stronger, because I believe Trump is a current avatar for America, fighting to save his life. I believe he's God ordained for this time to get us through it and to rebuild on it and to fight our enemies and win. Just like America is destined to still have its best time ahead of it. So what I believe is that this crash could very well happen, and it could be devastating in the short term. But in the long term, I believe what it'll do is it'll give Trump even more leverage and ability in a crisis to rebuild the American economy. And when we face a crisis like that, that's when the craziest stuff can get done. Think big. Think gold standard. Think maybe abolishing the Fed. There are so many things that are possible once a crisis hits that are much harder to accomplish when things are quote unquote good. And we need to be praying that if this is going to happen, it happens soon, because we need to be on the upswing by next year, by the time it's time for the midterms to come back around, in order to have the right people in power. But I do believe all this is timed. I believe all of it is going to work out for good, but it could get wild, guys. Are you ready? It could get really wild here. But again, as temporarily painful as it may be, an economic crisis of some sort might be the actual best thing that could happen for Trump to implement a more radical agenda. So that's just some thoughts I have on this. Anyways, on that note, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really love doing this show, and I love talking to you guys. My last video is demonetized. Maybe this one will be too. Maybe I pissed them off. But thank you guys for the support watching. Please like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate that. Please share, repost if you're on X. Thank you for doing that. Join if you want to join. If you want to get in the Discord, here's some of the best stock analysis I hear from anybody in the Discord. We have rooms for specific stocks and stuff, but we're always talking politics in there too, sharing jokes, building relationships. It's great in the Discord. You're going to want to join the Patreon to get in there, and then also get the members' lives as an extra bonus on top of that. And other than that, guys, it's well, let me catch up. Maybe. Yeah, QQQ, short the Qs. That's NASDAQ. Yep. I can't watch them either, Donna. It's terrible. Jim says the Fed Reserve could crash markets by having a large sell-off of stocks they buy. Well, yeah, that's true. They have a lot of stuff. Jim says Black Monday crash took 2 years to recover from. Yeah, but I mean by recovery, I don't think we'll get back to these prices for a long time. I mean, God, the Dow at 45,000, that's insane. I think it'd be a long time till we get back to those numbers because it's all fake and over leveraged. But by recover, I'm more concerned about Main Street and then just a stock market that's stabilized and growing again. We don't have to recoup it all back to be recovered. That's what I mean by recovery. I think once this crash happens, I think in 6 months, we could be in a really good place again with our economy, especially if Trump is building Main Street first. We have been a Wall Street-led economy since 2008 because Obama built it that way. He built us. He took the opportunity to turn us completely into a financial-led economy. We'd already been trending that way. He flipped it fully back over, and that's why that has been the wealth gap has grown so far apart. It's all because of Obama and his minions, what they did. And they were using it to destroy the middle class so that they could finally destroy the full country. Trump's going to rebuild that. So we could have a very strong, thriving economy with a stock market that's just growing slowly the way it should. And I think we might see that this time. Johnny, you missed it tonight. Yeah, you're right, Ficus. It did. It took a long time to recover. I think it just recovered like a few months ago. Anyways, God bless you guys. Let's pray. We obviously need a lot of prayer if all this stuff's going down, and our prayers are working. Look at how much is getting done. Look at how much is being exposed, and look at how our president, who we all pray for and voted for, look at how he keeps getting free from and validated from the attacks of him. The prayers are working, and so we better not stop now. In fact, we need to be praying more than ever because we won major stuff, but we got to push through to see it all done. And sometimes that biggest push is at the end. So Heavenly Father, thank you, God, for this amazing group of people. Thank you for their support and everything they teach me and as well. I bless them, Lord, tonight in Jesus' name. And I bless our president and his team. Bless them with protection, wisdom, and boldness, God, to keep going forward. I do pray, God, that no matter what happens, whether it's an economic crash, and whatever else, God, you name it, I just pray that good comes out of it. And I trust our president. I trust his team. And I do believe you're with them. I've just seen too much. So I pray for justice to come. I pray for all to be exposed. And I pray for our country to be built on the right foot forward so that we can truly see a golden age that isn't just for us, but is also for our kids and our grandkids and going further. In Jesus' name, we pray. Amen. All right. Love you guys. Have a great night. You guys are the best. And pray I don't get demonetized tonight. That'd be fun. Anyways, bless you guys.